Hey, this is Big Papa Pump Scott's Diner.
Yes, it is me, Gerald the Poupée.
Hey, this is Joe Gatto.
Well, hello there. It's me, Harold the Puppet.
This is Eric Young.
This is Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Ardano, and you are listening to Shootin' Poop.
The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at WrestlingWithJohners.com.
In the days of the Attitude Era, there is a group known as Right to Censor. We thought they were gone, but now that Joey K has been censored, it kinda makes you wonder. Coincidence? Oh my god. Should I clip that for the opening credits and add that to when my little thing comes up on the intro?
I can't.
Taters.
Oh shit.
Guys, if you're wondering why we're like this already, we're gonna save that story for another time.
Oh no, it's coming out right now.
Oh god, just go ahead and do it. Just get it out of the way.
We have recorded 20 minutes before we were actually live and found out we weren't live.
Nope. We technically did not record.
We did not record for 20 minutes. We've done the show without recording for 20 minutes. So all of our good takes on the intro of that have already been done. All of our good takes that follow the intro have already been done. So we're going to attempt to redo them for you now. If it feels forced, that's because it's not natural now. It's happened already, but you couldn't see it because we forgot to hit that record button. So to start with the I believe Sean said that it sounds like a child molester somehow, like little boy, you want some candy. I made the reference of this sounds like taters. And then we said this is episode 65. Now it's for the 65 for the second time for us, first time for y'all. This is Shooting Shit. DDJ, run the intro.
Before I do that though, public service announcement: always make sure you're recording before.
$65 episodes and never a dull moment. I think that's the first time we've forgotten to record, ladies and gentlemen, or hit record when we start a show off. But anyway, tonight we have Dennis Day Jr., the Silver Wolf, Sean Thomas with us. We DDJ up there with the ones from day one.
Because you the one, baby.
Because he's the one. Still the one, number one in our hearts with Bloodline merch on.
Number one in the charts and number one in your hearts.
Still the ones. It's ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you. We had a real good joke to transition to our first topic in the first one because we were joking about DDJ being whiter than Mayo. And I don't know how that's going to go over now without the build-up. So I'm just going to have to tell you, there was stuff saying that DDJ was whiter than Mayo. I think Sean called him clear.
I said he's Larry Bird white.
He's Larry Bird white. And talking about whiteness got us on to Matt Riddle because we know he failed the drug test for that white substance and some others. 2 of them.
Woo.
So we're going to jump into takes because apparently we've wasted 20 minutes doing that already. So we're going to start again. DDJ, what's going on with Matt Riddle?
Well, as you so eloquently just stated, he just recently was publicized or put out there that he's failed his second time he's failed a drug test, and it mentions that now it kind of puts into perspective or makes all clear why they moved the match with or at least the first time they when they moved the Riddle Rollins match from SummerSlam to Clash at the Castle. I believe that was the first. Ended up they're saying now that was the first instance of him failing the test, and then this happened, and it's just it's something like this. When something like this goes down, it's more than just wrestling. This is real life that we're talking about, and this is someone who's obviously dealing with some personal issues. His life, his home life isn't the best. I think on our original take or recording this,
you can't change your take up. You can't change your take up. You're gonna throw off this.
You know what? Y'all, whatever. Anyways, okay. So I'll go. No, I was still gonna go.
Keep going. I'm just messing with you.
So, but now you kind of made me lose my train of thought. So I have to go back to my original take and stuff.
Choo.
But it boils down to obviously, Riddle's fighting some demons, and to me, it's very similar. It's the same, but not the same. I guess very similar to the situation with Jeff Hardy, because obviously Jeff Hardy's had his issues. He's currently on suspension from AEW, pending a completion of rehab, and I know with this court stuff, which seems to keep getting delayed, and that. So, and you just kind of hope that Riddle, and Jeff Hardy, they both are able to figure out a way to beat their demons, because they're both immensely talented. They're both immensely popular with, wrestling fans. Riddle's been doing some really good stuff this year, going back to his stuff with Randy Orton as part of RK Bro. He had the Fight Pit match with Seth Rollins at Extreme Rules, which was really a great match. And I hope that's not the last we see of that type of match and stuff. But I mean, and he can go in the ring. Riddle has proven he can go in the ring, and it's just you just hope he doesn't become one of those like what if guys, or what could have been, I think is a better term, and that and stuff, and I'm sure Sean and Jovan both would second this. We just hope that he gets the help that he needs and stuff, because we just don't want him to become another statistic or whatever.
We second it, DDJ. We second that. Sean, what's your take, Sean?
That's a good take, DJ, for real.
Better than the first one?
When you take all 3 takes and make it to the master take, that's
recorded. What's so funny is I'm having deja vu. I feel like we just talked about this, but anyway.
Have you seen Back to the Future? You're not supposed to meet your past selves.
Oh, okay.
The timeline.
I think what we can honestly say about this is we all know Riddle is a legit entertainer, and I think my original take is the same one I have now. It's just pretty much like you have a situation where we know the guy is an avid smoker. We know he's a marijuana user, and then you have a company that pretty much, they make a joke about it. I mean, even in his T-shirts, his merch, his gear. I mean, the original bro and the 420 on his T-shirts and stuff like that. So in a way, you're kind of promoting this guy's issues. Not that marijuana is, to me, not an issue. I mean, if it's used correctly, I think it's a good thing. But it can be one of those things, much like alcohol, that if it's abused, it becomes a problem. And we know that WWE don't test for marijuana anymore because a lot of people use it now for pain. Compared to using opiates and stuff like that. So we know that this is a recreational drug that he tested positive for. And we also know that his personal life is in a shambles. And the point I was trying to make earlier was simple. Like, it's very easy for your professional life to be one thing and your personal life to be completely different. And I agree with DDJ in the sense of like, I don't want him to just be a statistic, maybe not necessarily, you know, I get what he's saying with Jeff Hardy, but, you know, you can also follow that with, you know, Scott Hall and Ric Flair and all these other guys that, you know, when the camera was on and they were in the ring, they were good. Their life was good. Scott Hall
Jake
said,
Roberts.
right. Jake Roberts is another one, but I remember watching an interview with Scott Hall, and he said, you know, Razor never had a bad day. Scott Hall had all kinds of bad days, and we're watching Riddle go through, you know, I mean, he had said not maybe 2 weeks ago in an interview that professionally his life is great, but personally his life's in shambles, and he knows that, you know, going through a separation, possible divorce, and he's the father of 2 kids, and you want to see him come out of this and come out of it better than what he was when he went into it. And the fact that, you know, I mean, he could have very easily said, no, I'm not going to rehab. I'm fine. This was just like a one-off, or this is, he got out of hand for a minute, but I have it. And he could have very easily been released and went anywhere else right now and got paid, because he's a WWE talent, one of the upper echelon WWE talents. And anybody, AEW, New Japan, IWGP, I mean, the list can go on and on and on. Anybody would give this guy a job and he'd be making money. I mean, he could have been very easily performing at Wrestle Kingdom in a couple of weeks. So, two, also, I think this also kind of points to the hypocrisy of WWE and the history of it. You know, we know that they used animals or Hawks alcoholism as a storyline.
Yeah.
We've seen WCW do the same thing.
I did not know where you were going with that, to be honest with you, because you led with animals. I'm like, what the hell did they do with animals?
Yeah, I meant Hawk.
Yeah.
What? Peter?
They used Hawk's alcoholism and his drug addiction as a storyline. WCW did the same thing with Scott Hall. I mean, that's the hypocrisy of this company and the entertainment that they do. Well, we're going to make this a storyline, and personal things become professional things. And when you're living your life under that microscope, man, a lot of people would buckle underneath that shit. And then you also look at what we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. You know, Riddle got suspended or got sent to rehab. Jimmy Uso's had 16, 21, 37 DUIs. I don't know how many times that guy's been pulled over drinking and driving, and yet still has a license and is still working and making money. But, you know, a female performer got released this week because of content that she had. And I think a lot of that has to do with, it was just money that they couldn't control and they weren't getting a part of. So that's why she violated her contract. So, that's something else we can talk about, in a minute. But yeah, man, I mean, I hope Riddle comes out of it okay.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys have summed it up really well. I mean, it's easy to sum up once we gave a full take on it and almost moved on and then had to restart. But no, honestly, I love you, Denny. I love you, DDJ. I do, Dennis. Don't do that. Love you. We love you. But honestly, it is to the point to where, like you guys said, he's not happy. Riddle in his personal life. And it's like I said on my original take, when the fans leave, the lights go off, you're Matt Riddle still because it's your actual name, but you're by yourself and you're that Matt Riddle, and that Matt Riddle's not happy. So when the Matt Riddle that's by himself isn't happy, you get the same issues as, your Scott Halls who weren't happy, your Aurelian Smiths who weren't happy, because Matt Riddle, the performer, is great. Razor Ramon was great, and Jake the Snake was great, but it's their counterparts, the people they are, when they leave the arenas, that were having the problems, who needed the help. So hopefully Riddle can get the help he needs to be able to make Matt Riddle, home Riddle, happy. So Matt Riddle, the professional, can continue to provide for himself and his kids. But it's just, he suck help. They're helping him here. And it's like I said originally with Jeff Hardy, the difference is, I think, with Hardy and Riddle is Riddle right now is in a dark space. Riddle's having a tough point in his life, and he's trying to numb the pain, right? He's trying to do whatever he can to get through it. Jeff Hardy, on the other hand, I feel like is and this is the term that they use a lot, is a professional addict, right? Yeah. Hardy he'll stay clean for spurts, but he falls into the same habits, same processes over and over again. to where, yes, he'll get help, but he'll be right back at it. There's no long-term relief for somebody like that until they seriously hit rock bottom. And unfortunately for Jeff Hardy, it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But he's in that cycle.
I wonder what rock bottom for him is going to be. You know what I mean? It's going to be bad.
It's got to be bad. It's going to be something real bad.
I mean, look at the guy took too over the years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And look at Jake the Snake. His rock bottom was basically having to crawl into DDP's house and was like, "Look, I'm going to
say my house,
not your house." But he had to go to DDP and was like, "Look, I need help." And DDP said, "I'm not going to let a friend die." So,
which before you we move on, guys, just talking about Jake going to DDP. If you've never gotten a chance to check out the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts, do yourselves a favor and go check it out. It's an amazing story about basically what the title, the resurrection of Jake the Snake, and how he's become the person that he is today, which is the person I think we always hoped he would be.
Yeah. And watch the dark side on Jake's family.
Dude, that's brutal. Yeah. If you can't watch that and not understand why that man did some of the things he did, tragic. That's tragic life.
There's parts in there where Jake the Snake will tell you, man, it's Aurelian Smith died and Jake had to live because of how much trauma that Aurelian went through. Yeah. So it's a crazy mess.
And it's not just him, man. It's his entire his brother, his sister, all of them.
The whole family, man. That's generational trauma right there, buddy. But you know what? Now we are getting to fresh takes because this is where we realized that we were not recording the first time. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to officially welcome you to episode 65, part 1. For everybody listening, still the ones. We're still here live. Now, we're going to get into something that Sean really dug into, kind of, hinted at. The big elephant in the room, the one that we wanted to kind of start with first, but we couldn't because we hit the white girl comment with Riddle. But we're going to Mandy Rose, man. She's been officially released. I know there was some words around maybe it being a work to bring her up to the main roster. No. 100% official release. WWE's claiming it's a breach of contract due to a subscription-based website that she has where fans can pay money to see her monthly photos that she uploads. Some of them may be a little racy. Some of them are normal stuff that she puts on, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever the crap. But apparently at these paid services, some of them were a little bit more racy, and the WWE claimed that it violated her contract. It jeopardizes the Mattel deal they had because of some clause they have with wholeness or something like that.
Probably like some sort of morality clause or something.
Morality clause. There you go. So apparently it was a big enough deal to where they let her go. Little by little information has come out that she was positioned by the WWE to turn over the logging information for the website. It sounded like they wanted to go in there and check the content themselves. It sounded like they maybe wanted a kickback from the content, and she denied. And so they let her go. But I hear she does well with the money there. So she's not, necessarily getting thrown out on the street. She's just not with the WWE. So
I think she's making more off the content than she was off her contract, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw that.
I believe that's true. So hit your opinions on there, DDJ Jr. Tell me what you got.
Well, it's a little bit of a tricky situation because there's, a lot of different aspects going into this and stuff. And I mean, was the site that she was running, was she doing it under her real name or was she doing it under Mandy Rose, which is the name that she was given or, by the WWE? I think if that was, I'm not sure if, obviously if it was under her real name and she wasn't trying to make a profit off her, I guess, her image or likeness or whatever they call that stuff. I mean, I can't see where, I definitely don't think that should have been an issue. I mean, but obviously if she was like doing this as Mandy Rose, I can honestly, and again, I'm not, trying to, whatever, but basically if she's trying to make money off of her, her character,
What's Mandy Rose's? Let me look this up. Where I go. Go
I
ahead.
think it's like Amanda Sacomano or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
All right. So the website is under Mandy Sachs, SACS, which is an abbreviation of her last name.
Right. So if she's not doing it as Mandy Rose, then yeah, there shouldn't be an issue there because Mandy Rose and we'll just say Mandy Sachs because that's much easier to pronounce than her last name and stuff. There's a difference there. Those are two different people. That's like, we talk about Jake Roberts and Aurelian Smith, and all these people that, have these character names, but their real names are something different. And obviously there's the whole, Riddle was, sent to rehab and the whole thing with the Usos. Totally understand. I think they should have been held more accountable for the thing. And I think for the instance with the Usos, had they not been, and this doesn't excuse what they did or anything, but had they not, if they weren't a part of this bloodline storyline, I think they would have been dealt with a little bit more. It would have been dealt with a little more harshly. And I think it was just a case of just wrong place, wrong time, or just something like that. But going back to Mandy Rose, the kind of content she was, supposedly up, well, I guess say she was, because it's been confirmed that there were some, we'll just use racy pictures. Don't ask us for links. We're not going to provide any of that kind of stuff here and stuff. But if she was going to, if she's putting this stuff out there, in a sense, I can kind of see where WWE would have an issue with it, especially in this day and age of the era where, they're trying to do a PG show. Like, I get the deal, jeopardizing the deals with sponsorships. Because, I mean, first and foremost, this is a business. This is, a company that's looking to make money, which every company is trying to do. And if she was told, hey, you're doing this, and you either have to scale it back or I'm just speculating here because I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I know everything and stuff. But a lot of times, be it right or wrong, unfortunately, in a job, if we're told to do something, if you're told to do something by your boss, whether you agree with it or not, you can do it. But if you refuse to do it, you put yourself at risk of being terminated, which is unfortunately what happened here. I think there are far worse things that people have done that really haven't, but like what we were talking about and stuff. And I think that's definitely unfair as well, too. But I mean, it's such a complicated situation. There's so many parts and things like that. It's just, and I think the bottom line is it sucks because I think she was having a hell of a run as NXT Women's Champion. She greatly improved in the ring. She would have been someone that, and she still technically could be when we do our year-end show here in a couple weeks and we give out our awards for like breakout star or most improved rest of the year. She's definitely someone that I think should be in the discussion because, I mean, she has drastically improved and stuff. And it's just a shame it happened, but the way things are sounding, she sounds like she's in a good place. She sounds like she's going to be just fine and stuff, and, sad to see her go because I love Toxic Attraction, but you know what? It doesn't sound to me like she's too heartbroken over things. So, best wishes to her for whatever she does in the future.
Silverwolf.
Man, I'm all over the place on this. I'll be completely honest with you. And I love you, DJ. You know that. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I think everything you said was just bullshit. This was an issue. And I don't mean you personally. Like, I understand.
No. I get what I get it.
Yeah. I'm not trying to insult you. I just think everything that was that was like the polite answer to give. And I'm sure that's exactly how you feel. And I don't mean to disrespect you at all, but I think that was that was pretty much what WWE was saying too. And we all three of us know that that's bullshit. Sable, Kelly, Christy Hemme, China. I don't know how many other that have appeared in Playboy.
Ashley Massaro.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels was in Playgirl. So
Tori Wilson.
All these people that have appeared in Playboy that they promoted vehemently when they were doing it. They pretty much sexualize every woman that's ever been on that show. The only difference between then and now is now they're allowing these girls to work, and they can work.
Yes.
Okay. So, and even Mandy Rose, I'm not saying, is she Charlotte Flair? Is she a great in-ring worker? I think she held that title, and she held it for 413, whatever, how many, 413, something like that days. And I think she represented the company well. I think she did really good with the storylines. I think she got to NXT, and they finally gave her a chance to work, and she did a damn good job.
Yes, she did.
And then for this to happen and them say, we have heard numerous stories in the past where, well, why can't you dress more like Mandy?
Yep. We
want people to dress like Mandy. You have sexualized this woman the entire time she's been in the company.
Yes.
Okay. From the stories that I read, she was not given the option to pull down content. She was just let go. So she didn't get a chance to say, okay, I'd like to keep my job. I'll stop doing this, or I'll take this content down. She was not given that option. They just let her go. And I think a lot of it had to do with she had signed the deal with Mattel for the action figures, and there was a clause in that they used to be able to release her, because they didn't want to piss off Mattel and lose Mattel money. Is why Mandy Rose is no longer working with WWE. They're not ashamed of what she did. This is the same company that brought Jenna Jameson in and used her in a video with the Big Valboski, who was, his whole gimmick was he was a porn star.
It's true.
The hypocrisy of this is fucking ridiculous. Did she violate her contract by putting content up that she shouldn't have? Yes, she did. The fact of the matter is she got let go because she was making more money, and they didn't get a touch of it. They didn't get a taste of it.
Yep.
They didn't get a taste of it, so they let her go. Well, you're the face of the company. Newsflash, bitch. So's Jimmy Uso. That man's been carrying a belt for almost how many years? One, two. I mean, how many times have they been tag team champions and the face of the tag team division?
Mm-hmm.
2-3 years at least. And he's definitely been champion for almost a year, if not a year, over a year.
About a year and a half almost, I think.
And in that time, he's been arrested 3 times for drunken disorderly and DUI. Come on, man. Don't give me this shit. You sexualize every single one of these. These women aren't wrestling in singlets and covered up. The only time they make these girls cover up is when they're in fucking Saudi. And you know why? Because they want the Saudi money.
Yep.
WWE don't make decisions based on what's morally correct. That's bullshit. Bullshit. They make these decisions based on green. That's the only color they care about. Yep. That's it. And the fact that Triple H is allowing the hypocrisy to happen is one of the few things I can say that's still negative about this company. That's one of his people. He brought her up. He put her through NXT. He promoted her up to, he helped get her up to Raw. He brought her back to NXT. He was still there when she came back before it was taken over and changed. This all falls on them. And now you're going to, well, she's losing you. And not only did you, if you really cared morally, you wouldn't have went through the whole fucking trouble of her losing the belt in a storyline to Roxanne Perez. You would have just stripped her of the belt and said, okay, what she did was wrong. We can't support that. She's been released and we've taken the belt off of her. No, you took the time to fucking run a storyline to where she drops the belt to an up-and-coming performer, the new face, young and innocent face of NXT, my ass, and then wait until the next day to release her. Come on, dude. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. And I could, to be completely, I'm not a Mandy Rose fan. I don't hate her, but I don't think she's a great performer either. Is she pretty and nice to look at? Yeah, but so's a fucking Ferrari, and I ain't never going to get one of those either, so it doesn't matter to me. But the fact of the matter is, she was doing her job. She was doing her job. She was making money on the side that was not promoted with her. She didn't use Mandy Rose. She used her own name, which is what probably pisses them off because they wouldn't have known about it. If somebody else hadn't already leaked those pictures, they would have never known because she didn't use her name, her wrestling name. She used her own name. It was her own private website. She didn't go through OnlyFans. It was her own page. You're pissed because you couldn't control it. 1, you weren't making money off of it. 2, and then now you have to deal with it. So, well, before we blow it all up, let's do this storyline and let's put Roxy in. Not that Roxy is not a great performer and that she doesn't some one day will not end up being a women's champion. I completely agree that this young lady is very talented and has all the ability in the world to become a big star in professional wrestling. But was she chosen because she was the next best option for women's NXT champion, or was she chosen because I'm young, I'm innocent, I'm nice, I'm sweet? They just went from one direction to the other. It's just like when they got busted for steroids and they started going away from the big guys and promoting little guys because they didn't want to draw attention to what the fuck they were doing wrong in the first place. Come on, man. This is bullshit. It's all bullshit. And it's a shame that it happened. Did she violate her contract? Yes, she absolutely did. But so did Matt Riddle and Randy Orton and Jimmy Uso and anybody who's ever been sent away for drugs or PEDs or beating their wives or anything else that these motherfuckers have been released for. Come on, man. They got to be better. They got to be better about this. If they truly are a family-friendly company, then start treating your people like family. You know, it's all we're a family here until somebody fucks up, and then it's, you know, they'll never mention Mandy Rose again. She will never get mentioned on that company again, ever.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. She's going to get the Benoit treatment.
And the funny thing is she's going to go sign with AEW, or she's got work. I mean, Tommy Dreamer fell all over himself on Busted Open the other day, telling her, "You come work for us. We'll put you to work." Yeah. And she'll be able to go to Impact and do whatever she wants.
She'll be able to go any of those companies and stuff.
Another thing too that I had read, and like I said, I don't really care about Mandy Rose, but she raised the price from her fan page from $20 for a membership to $40, and she made $61,000 the day she got suspended. She added 1,100 new customers to this page. She don't care.
She don't even have to wrestle anymore.
She never has to wrestle.
She never has to wrestle again.
She's got the donut shop with Sonya Deville and stuff. She's got all this other stuff. She's going to be just fine. But I mean, agree. I like you know, I respect your take, Sean. You know, I have all the respect and love in the world for you and that and stuff. So, and I, you know, and that, but yeah, she's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So my take, and I think Sean hit a lot of it on the head. And my main thing is going to go to...
Well, buddy, when you're a hammer, everything's a nail.
Oh, there you go.
Boy.
Yeah. Damn.
Are you going to bust out the hammer pants and yell out, "You can't touch this now"?
Hello.
Anyways, MC Hammer, man, there you go. Never know what you're going to get here. But...
Too legit to quit.
Too legit. Jesus. When it comes down to the Mandy Rose situation, man, I think it boils down to one thing for me, and that's Athena, Ember Moon.
Yep.
And it was well documented that there was internal bulletins going out. Hey, we don't want to tell you to be more sexy. We don't want to tell you to be more productive. We're not going to tell you how to dress, but be more like Mandy Rose, because that's what we want right now. That's our main attraction for the ladies division. We want you to all kind of float towards her. That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I've seen some of the WWE photo shoots with her on there. They're not, you know, they're a hair away from what you probably purchased on that site. I guarantee you at least a few inches from it. So it's not like WWE wasn't doing it themselves with her.
Yeah.
It's just that they couldn't make money off of her doing it on her own. And that's where it came down to, them not liking it, that she was doing it on her own. And I'm going to take the other route, because everybody has always said, well, other people had photos leaked and this happened. That's a completely different story. Those leaked photos were set in a private setting. I'm not even going to compare the two. They're not even related.
Yeah.
Because these leaked photos were sent for purchase. They were done for the intended, you know, means of being purchased from fans.
Yeah.
Right. Two completely kind of leaked situations we're talking about. But on that same tone, Maria Kanellis recently wrestled with WWE. She's been on Playboy. We've had, there was a time, I don't know if people have forgotten this. Wow. I grew up with bra and panties matches.
Yeah, see, I didn't even touch on that.
Yeah, I mean, bra and panties matches, pool matches.
Wrestled in the mud.
Wrestle in the mud, in the gravy for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Hell, does anybody remember Hot Lesbian Action? Eric Bischoff.
Yep.
So
that's not been that long ago.
Oh, that stuff.
No. Yeah, that's not too far removed from where we're at now. And if I'm not mistaken, love it or hate it, they still promote China. China's done some things out there. There's still China toys made by Mattel, if I'm not mistaken. Shawn Michaels still has Mattel toys, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, hell, we can go on and on about the random stuff that they're claiming is the reason why she was let go, to the real reason being, there you go, they didn't have the kickback. And when the first exodus from WWE happened, they started cutting folks. The first thing they said was, we're cutting people, but we don't like them making money off of Twitch. We don't like them making money off of these solo means. Like, if they're doing that, it has to be WWE focused. Yeah. Xavier Woods is up, down, down is WWE focused. None of them are doing things based off of their own name.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Xavier Woods. I'm sorry, man. Hot take real quick. Let's talk about this motherfucker. I love X. I love Woods. I love him to death. But somebody that didn't get mentioned in any of that paid shit.
Yeah.
There was a little brother in that video too, and we all know who it was. New Day. And he was right in the middle of all that. Nobody said nothing about that.
He definitely was right in the middle of
literally
in the middle.
So there's a reason why I have this on, and I think you guys have both agreed to me. What it boils down to, it's all about the money.
No, I thought you were going to say everybody has their price.
Yeah, well, that too.
But it boils. Everybody does. But in this case, it's really, this is what it all boils down to. It's all about the money.
When did you get that one?
A while back.
Sean's just scoping for the future.
Yeah.
Sean's like, all right, got that one on the list. I didn't know we had that one, buddy. I can't wait for that to get on the one.
What do you mean, we?
So this crystal pushes you down the stairs. That's mine.
You bet. I'm gonna check my wife's phone, make sure there ain't no like instructions or anything. You're leaving for her or something.
No, I'm not leaving any instructions. We got it all worked out. She said all I need to do is back the car up. I can take whatever I wanted.
Oh, I didn't hear. I was right there when she said it.
I know she said it right in front of you.
If there's any duplicates, all I ask is to get one of the duplicates.
I'll hook you up, bro.
All right.
We'll get you made up for you old slap nuts Jacob Miranda screwing you over.
Oh Jesus.
I think Dennis would want us to have it.
I thought so. Yeah, I think Dennis would want it to be a part of our collection.
I'm still alive in that. Don't talk to me like I'm dead already. I'm still here.
Oh, Sean, I remember him well. He was such a good guy.
He's such a good dude. Man. He didn't record for shit.
Motherfucker, I hate you right now.
All right.
All right, bro. Sorry. I got you.
Can we talk about Athena? Can we talk about Ring of Honor now?
Let's hit the reset. Let's go into Ring of Honor.
We're going with WWE. Okay, we're going with WWE. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna hit Ring of Honor because Athena, she did her big stuff. Let's DDJ put the money away. No, I'm just joking. Keep the money on there. I know it's heavy though, but give us a rundown. What are we talking about ROH today?
Well, we had Final Battle a little over about a week ago, and I know you watched it, Jovan. Sean, you said you hadn't had a chance to watch it.
I have not had a chance to watch it yet. So
it was
tomorrow after halftime of the Bears game.
You mean when they're already out of it?
When they're already done, yeah.
Or after the first quarter or whatever.
Done after
the first series.
Well, we're playing Philly, right?
Yeah.
So it could be like 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Maybe you guys pull a magical upset, and it's the miracle in,
No, we don't want that. We want the number one traffic.
Yeah, at this point in time, I'm perfectly. As long as Justin does not get hurt.
One more win ain't gonna make a difference this season, bro.
I would love for you guys just to beat them if that could happen. If you could pull that out for me, that's my Christmas wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because the only thing is then we'd have to deal with Joey K. And
yeah.
Well, he's currently being censored, so it's okay.
Yeah. What were you saying, Jovan? What were you saying about Final Battle before we recorded? And I used air quotes for those listening to the audio. About Final Battle. What was your take on it, real quick?
Oh, did we even talk Final Battle? I don't
actually have a question. I actually have a question for both of you guys.
About the type of
it was Sean's question.
Yeah, it was I actually have a question for both of you guys because I haven't seen that.
This is the pre. This was like the warm up to the show that would have been recorded but didn't get recorded. So this was pre warm up.
Yeah. So here's my question to you two because I know you guys watched it and I haven't and I've like even held off. I know who won. You're not going to go all week without seeing spoilers, and I'm not one of those guys that gets pissy about it. I don't care who. They know who's winning going in, so it doesn't matter to me that I know who won. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really get pissy about that. Like that always bugged me when people are like, "I don't want any spoilers." Well, why? They know going in who's going to win or lose. So what difference does it make if I know it before I watch it?
It's a hell of a hot take. I love it.
But my question for you two gentlemen is, it seems to me when I seen the results from the show and all the title changes and the things that have happened and all that. And spoilers, if you're watching and you didn't see it yet, there was title changes. I have gotten feedback from people who basically said that they felt like the Final Battle was booked better than any AEW show pay-per-view that's been booked all year. So my question to you two guys is do you feel that that's accurate?
Oh,
let's take this one first, Jovan.
Well, I appreciate that, Dennis. You are a gentleman and a scholar.
And if I can add, what was the one match that, from what I've read and that I'm really excited about watching is FTR versus the Briscoes.
That was late, freaking year match of the year contender.
Don't be surprised if when we're doing our year-end show here in a couple weeks, if that match gets talked about when we're discussing match of the year.
All right. Well, that's just what I've heard. But that's my question is, was it booked better than any AEW show this year?
I'll say yes.
I mean, I've heard nothing but positive feedback from the show. So
this show felt like an ROH reset, which is needed going into the potential TV deal. ROH right now felt like it was AEW light. It didn't feel like ROH, but this pay-per-view felt like ROH, and it's kind of hard to say what really made it feel like ROH. Maybe it was the unpredictability of it. Maybe it was the title changes and the people who've taken the titles. There's some things that they basically told you, hey, these talents, even though they're AEW talents, these are going to be ROH talents when this show starts kicking. So you're probably going to see them more on ROH than AEW, which I'm fine with that, right? The defined split, I love it. Some of these big names can go over and help a lot of these crossovers that can come into ROH. Small teases for possible the future. You had the Keith Lee and Shane Taylor Promotions possible tease, where Keith Lee's like he hates fighting his brothers because they did a lot of stuff together back in the day. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Then of course, there was just so many small things done right. It felt like a Ring of Honor show. It honestly felt, and I know Joey K has been critical about the last few not feeling like Ring of Honor shows. This felt like a Ring of Honor show.
And I think, I'm first off, I'm gonna second Jovan what he said. It was probably the best Tony Khan booked show of the year. And I remember talking to Jovan and Joey K in our official show chat, which Jovan, we got to add Sean to that.
We do need to put Sean in there. He's missing some shit
and stuff. But I remember talking to both of you, and I think I even maybe messaged you on our, own, messenger thread that we have on Facebook. I said that after the show was over, I think I said something along the lines that may have been the best show I've seen all year.
Yeah.
And it's definitely up there.
Better than Clash at the Castle?
See, that's kind of the thing I'm debating about. And when we do our year-end review show here in a couple weeks, I will officially have made my decision. But a little bit of a sneak peek going into that. Those are my two that I'm going between for show of the year is Final Battle and Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
I'll give you that little tidbit. But
I think that's
but I mean,
Ring of Honor. Yeah.
And I basically agree with everything Javon said about the show. It felt like a Ring of Honor show. He taught, with all the title changes, I felt like this is Tony Khan kind of putting his pieces on the game board, and he's got the game board all set up because you talk about the TV deal, which they did announce shortly after the show has ended, that Ring of Honor TV, and I know this was met with, of course, a lot of, people being upset and stuff, but anytime anything happens in the world of wrestling, there's always a group of people that get pissed off about it. But what else is new?
No.
But yeah, right. But the thing is they did announce that the Ring of Honor TV show will be the only way you'll be able to watch it is if you sign up for the revamped or relaunched Honor Club, which I believe is like $10 a month. That gives you basically access to all the Ring of Honor, the old shows and pay-per-views and stuff. And I think they said
including All In.
Yes, All In's on there. But they need to put back the segment with that happened after the Hangman Adam Page Joey Janela match, because regardless of who was involved, and that was still funny as hell.
Oh, the druid penises.
Yes. But going back to the whole Final Battle thing, I don't think there was really a bad match on the card. Hell, even the 0 Hour had some really good matches, like the Top Flight Kingdom match.
Yeah.
Really good. That Keith Lee, the Swerve in Our Glory versus Shane Taylor Productions is probably the match that surprised me the most at how good it was.
Yeah. It had no business being that good.
Right, exactly. And that's no disrespect to any one of those four guys. And by the way, that guy that was with Shane Taylor, JD Griffey, that's the first time I can recall seeing him wrestle, and he can go.
He can go.
And stuff. But I mean, and if it hadn't been for that double dog collar match, that may have been that tag match may have been my pick for match of the night, because it was that good.
Yeah, it was that good.
You also had the pure title match with Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia. You had the title match with Jericho and Claudio. And initially, I did not like the finish of that match, but the more I thought, because it was so sudden, but the more I thought about it, I actually really liked the way that match ended with him tapping out to the giant swing, because that really establishes that move as, hey, that can end a match now.
That's a finisher now.
And stuff. But overall, it was we talked about Athena. You mentioned Athena when we were talking about Mandy Rose. It's great to see that she's finally found her footing, and under the TK umbrella. I think she's going to make a great women's champion for, the Ring of Honor brand. It's just a shame that it had to come at the expense of Mercedes Martinez, which I hope they do more with her, especially if she's, healthy and stuff, because I think Mercedes Martinez could be a great hand for that women's division and stuff. But all in all, great show. Sean, you definitely need, and anyone else that's listening to this or watching this, if you have not seen it, go out of your way to watch Final Battle, because it was, as Jovan said, probably the best Tony Khan book show of the year.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Do it.
Get to the Papa. I mean, go buy the show.
All right. Oh, for those of y'all who have the ROH Honor Club now, all pay-per-views will be on Honor Club after 90 days of it airing. So if you want to watch Final Battle.
I was going to say that, but it slipped my mind. So thank you for bringing that up.
You have 80 days left before you could see Final Battle 22 on there. So you're probably going to have to get it through Fight TV or the other one.
BR Live.
BR Live. There you go. Yeah, they both suck. They're both terrible choices. But
I'd pick Fight TV over BR Live any day of the week.
Me and Fight have issues because of GCW, but hopefully those are getting resolved soon.
Did you sign up for a GCW subscription?
I damn sure did. Free trial during the Nick Gage Invitational.
Nice.
Let's see, guys. You know what? We're on shows. Let's head to NXT Deadline. Do a quick show recap of this so we can get to a good, solid final thoughts after this. Because I don't think we have much after this.
We got to talk about a couple things I want to talk about on Dynamite, but let's talk Deadline, and then we'll get into
breeze
that.
through Deadline. Then make it real quick with Deadline.
Didn't watch it. How
Didn't
breezy
watch it.
was that?
What
Breezy
did
enough?
you do last weekend, Sean? What did you do last Saturday?
Okay, in my defense, kiss my ass. I don't care what you think. One, two. Monday night was the only night I had.
Hey, Sean, I love you, brother.
Love you too, buddy.
It was Monday Night Raw at the Sean
Monday
house.
night was the only night that I had anything free. I watched Raw, and then Tuesday night I had basketball game. Wednesday night we had basketball practice. Thursday night we had basketball game. Last night we had the Operation Headspace Christmas party where Gabby was giving her certificate, and
I saw that, and that's awesome.
I saw that was a hell of a program.
Awesome.
Was there with the veterans and hanging out with Eric. They invited us there, and we had dinner, and Santa Claus was there, and the kids got gifts, and it was a good night, man. So, and then of course we went out, and our plans for this following week got just completely crushed with sickness and everything else. So we went to the bar and celebrated like grown folks do.
That's right.
Yeah, I got the picture last night.
But I mean, come on, let's be honest. We all know that I wasn't going to watch, if I watched Deadline, watch NXT, anything, it was just going to be because there was nothing else on TV for me to watch. So, but I mean, I'm going to give it a watch, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah. But
I didn't watch. And the only thing I watched was the Iron Survivor highlights, just because I was wondering how that went and if it was a total shit show.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like people overall have a positive feel to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like you. I wasn't sure how this was gonna play out because this is basically the combination of the scramble match and Iron Man match. I mean, there's so many different variations, or combinations of like different match types going into this, and kind of made you wonder: is it too much? Was it gonna? And it seemed like the crowd there at Full Sail. Or not, excuse me, not Full Sail, the Performance Center, which usually hosts the same people. God, I can't wait for NXT to start getting on the road again. Hot take there.
On the road again?
Yeah, just can't wait for NXT to get on the road again. But no, the matches were actually, the concept, it seemed like it worked, I love, the one thing I say is I loved about the men's matches, I love Grayson Waller's performance in that. He basically came in, got his finisher on and pinned two guys like right away. And then he got and then I can't remember who it was. I think it was Carmelo Hayes towards the end of the match, hit his finisher on Axiom. And then, Grayson Waller being the slimy heel that he is, threw Carmelo out, stole the pin, and then basically for like the last 30 seconds or so played like, was basically running away which this is kind of the one thing also too, I guess I had a little bit of a gripe with the match. You got your decisions by pinning anybody. So it's just like, to me, to have them chase after Grayson like the last 30 or so seconds rather than, Carmelo Hayes maybe trying to take out somebody else in the match and get a quick pinfall and stuff. And then maybe I think they should have tried to have him get a pinfall, but Grayson kept breaking the pin up and stuff to get the win. And then the women's match was really good too. And obviously that led to what we saw on Tuesday, which we already talked about and stuff. But even, excuse me, the title match with Apollo and Braun, I really liked that. I thought it was really good. Braun's still the champ and, he's still having a hell of a run. I think he's going to be on the main roster sooner rather than later. But all in all, it was a good show. But it didn't come close to touching the greatness that was Final Battle.
The big bad booty nephew.
Yeah, and stuff. So, but you ready to let's go to AEW real quick because I want to just say I thought Dynamite was one of the better Dynamites they've had in a long time, and I think one of the reasons why, and this is something I think we need to touch on because this is big, is the guy that they hired. I think he's running productions or something. He was basically tabbed as the guy that was going to take over for Kevin Dunn whenever he retired, which hopefully is sooner rather than later. But I mean, that was a big get for them. And supposedly, I guess part of the conditions or something of him coming over was that I guess the look of the show is going to be changing next month. But if Wednesday was any indication of how the Dynamite's going to be with this new guy, I'm sorry I don't have his name handy or what his official title was, but if Dynamite on Wednesday is any indication, I think it's going to be a good time for AEW because that was a really good Dynamite. And then obviously to me, the highlight of the night was the recreation of the Razor Ramon 1, 2, 3 kid story with Action Andretti beating Chris Jericho clean in the match.
This Dynamite was the perfect storm.
Mm-hmm.
Winter is coming. You're in Texas. Texas is a hot crowd. I don't care what people say. Texas is a wrestling town. They were in Dallas.
Technically, right? Texas is not a town; it's a state.
Fuck both y'all.
Chicago. Hey, Sean, sit there on that one.
I'll tell you what Texas is, bastards. Texas is what I want it to be. It's the great thing about Texas. Anyway,
it's an insane asylum.
It is the insane, but we run the asylum here in Texas. Anyway, you have everything going for it. The show's card was great. You look at the card and you say, man, this could be a really good show. The only thing that can stop it from being a great show is if they get into their own way with shit booking.
You mean like having Jeff Jarrett come out, break a guitar over the Acclaim's head?
I mean,
that's bad creative and shit booking.
It continues their story that they're wanting to push with the Acclaim and whatever the hell that group's getting called whenever they do
under Jarrett.
The under Jarrett's. But I mean, for the most part, the show stood out of its way. They didn't get into the horrible booking decisions. The matches were really well. Jesus, MJF and Ricky Starks was really good, but the show stealer was
that company right there. By the way, that was the future of that company. And if that's the case, that's in good hands.
They're in good hands.
But I mean, that's the thing. That was the main event. It was a hell of a main event. But the point that you keep coming back to and people keep coming back to is local jobber chance coming out, and this dude goes over on Jericho.
Yeah.
And the place exploded because the fans were just having fun because we're stupid. We're stupid people, honestly. Fans, we're stupid people when we're in the arenas. We're drinking. We're having fun. We're having fun.
Wait, are we talking fans in general or just Texas fans?
All fans. Don't do that because you were there when we created Oh Scissor Me Daddy.
Well, so it's a legitimate question. It was a legitimate
question. No, it wasn't. It's
Thank you, Sean.
Fans.
Thanks for having my back there, buddy. I appreciate
both of y'all. It's all fans because we were in Chicago when everybody just started singing Oh Scissor Me Daddy. That happened in Chicago. I was there.
I know, and you still do it. Now you're in Texas.
We all did it, but I'm saying sometimes it's mob mentality. You guys are pretty dumb when we start drinking, we're having fun, and we're just like
in Chicago, and now it's happening in every other city they go to.
But that's the thing.
So what does that tell you?
We're having this issue
Chicago's
where
awesome.
like fans like having fun, and that was a fun issue. That was a fun little thing, and the fans got a pop out of them cheering for a freaking local jobber. That when the jobber won, that place freaking exploded like he was the goddamn Rock.
And you talk about that. Have you guys seen the story about how that came to be? Like the whole story about how that match came to be?
No, give me the story, then I'll shit on it after you're done. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was planned out a couple of weeks ago, right?
It was like a couple months ago or something, I believe. Like Jericho saw this guy wrestle. I think I was like on the dark or something. And basically, I think went to Tony Khan and said, I want to make that kid a star because he was that impressed by him. And they held off because he was in the midst of his reign as Ring of Honor champion. And so basically, this was all planned out. Like this was like, he was putting this kid over and stuff. And I thought that was just a really cool story. Like I really.
Where's that kid from? Does anybody know?
I believe he's from the Northeast or something like that. Because I believe I've heard one of the promotions that he was a regular at was MCW, which I believe is the Maryland one. I think that's the one that our buddy Matt Arrington and all those guys, one of the promotions they go to or something like that. Nice. And stuff. But it's a really good story. You should go look it up and stuff. But I thought
that's where my problem comes with it. You did it in Texas. You couldn't have done it where that kid's from because local jobber in Texas, everybody thought he was a real jobber. And, this is the indie scene in Texas. You have a few big spots up here, but I didn't know who he was. I'm like, that's a local kid. That's not a local kid. Who is this guy? I mean, yes, generic default chant for people you don't know was local jobber, but he wasn't a local to Dallas. He wasn't a local to Texas. So that was my only big issue with it. I enjoyed it. I liked the fact that he went over, but that's just me picking.
But did you get that like me and get that Razor Ramon 1-2-3 Kid vibe with that?
Yes,
I did.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say that was the vibe that I had because I don't know.
Actually, I was thinking more Ric Flair and Sam Houston. I kind of got that vibe.
That's
because 1-2-3 Kid was kind of already an established star. I mean, everybody knew who he was.
I don't think you know what? I'm gonna respectfully disagree with you there. I don't think 1-2-3 Kid was
okay. You can be wrong and still disagree with me. I'm okay with that.
I disagree with both of you.
All right. I see how smart ass.
It was giving me Santino Marella and Umaga vibes.
Umaga. That's a good one too.
Good.
But it was just like
nothing for nothing. I don't see your ass doing any tricks. So.
when
he charges.
When the 1-2-3 Kid beat Razor Ramon, he really hadn't been established yet in the WWE because he was still just known, I believe, as the Kid or something like that. But just that pop that he got that night. I mean, obviously, this was a smaller crowd, smaller venue compared to where they were last night. So obviously, there was louder stuff. But I had that vibe. Like, and I remember when I was watching that, I was on a little bit of a delay because I didn't get home till, about an hour into the show. So I was a little behind and stuff. But when I watched it, that was the first thing that popped in my head. I said, this reminds me of when the 1-2-3 Kid beat Razor Ramon on Monday Night Raw.
I agree with you, bud. I do.
Well, gents,
it's a big deal.
We've talked a little bit of everything. A little this, a little that. Got a little bit of Dynamite in there. I'm going to give you the chance to make your decision. Do we want to try to hit one more quick shot if you have it? If not, we go into final takes. Your last shot.
I got one more quick
shot.
I'm
down with the quick shot.
Are you ready?
All right.
What's our feelings on the story of Sasha Banks' deal already been pretty much done since last summer?
I love it.
And what happens for her next?
Well, I think it's already been announced that she is going to, appear in a non-wrestling capacity at Wrestle Kingdom. So that's going to be huge for that company. And obviously,
is she going to be in Japan and wrestling? Is that where she's going to be working, or?
Well, I think from what I understand is that she's going to make an appearance at Wrestle Kingdom, I think, after the women's title match, because I think it's pretty much been out there. She said she wants a match with Kairi and stuff. And obviously, Kairi, I believe, is the New Japan Women's Champion.
Yes.
And she's got set for the defense and stuff. I think she's probably going to come out to set them. And I think what they had said was like one of the first title defenses of that belt in the U.S. is going to be she's going by Mercedes Varnado, versus Kairi. And that's going to be big for New Japan because Sasha Banks is mainstream when you think about it. I mean, not only is she known from her WWE days, she's been on The Mandalorian. I mean, she's got other projects and stuff. I mean, so this is huge for New Japan. And obviously
she just finished shooting a movie too. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. And this could also lead because, with New Japan's partnership, I mean, maybe she has some sort of deal or she works out something with AEW because, I mean, Saraya is looking for a partner. So
the sky is the limit for Mercedes.
That would be awesome, I think. Yeah.
And it's just to me, and I want to get a quick take on this because we brought this up. I guess the reason why she, things happen is that WWE didn't see her on the same level as like a Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch, which I'm going to say that's bullshit because, she wanted the money. But you know what, though? The reason why she probably wasn't seen on that kind of level is because she's never been given that opportunity. Long term.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I think I read, I don't know if it's the same article, but I read
what I said or what?
What they said.
Well, they couldn't come to an agreement on money because they didn't feel that she was still an upper echelon performer.
She is one of the four women.
And dude, and come on, man, you can't belittle what this woman's done.
That is horse shit.
Women weren't main eventing.
Nope.
big shows until Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Yep. The Iron Woman match was
You
not a
don't have,
concept.
and you don't have Charlotte and Becky at WrestleMania in the main event without Sasha and Bayley.
Nope.
She's been a multi-time women's champ on SmackDown and Raw. She's been a tag team champ.
Well, Sasha and Charlotte were the first women to main event a WWE pay-per-view, and then
and I think she's going to pull a Jericho. I think she's going to
her.
I think she's going to go to Japan. She's going to build new talents and have great matches and do unbelievable things. And this is an opportunity for her to work with people that she wants to work with. She's trained over there with them before. And if she ends up in AEW, God fucking save whoever didn't give that girl money.
And also
anybody's ass if she gets an opportunity to.
And when you think about it, I mean, New Japan is just really starting to establish a women's division now. I mean, how big is that for New Japan to get someone like Mercedes, to help with that, to just like from the beginning and stuff? I mean, that's a game changer for New Japan.
She is a homegrown WWE talent. Like, I mean, I think she worked indies out on the West Coast, early on, and I'm not sure that she was working very long before she ended up in NXT.
I believe you're correct.
When NXT was really starting to take off and she started finding herself. And then she's been in the title picture and one of the main workers in that company since she, won the title in NXT and then moved up to the main brand. And the girl can go. Like, she's a legit worker. She's got the promo. She's got the gimmick.
She's got the look.
She don't have to be Sasha Banks. She can be Mercedes, which in my opinion was a better name anyway. And she's going to get the opportunity to show what she can do. And she believes in what she's doing. And she's betting on herself. And I think there's plenty of people out there that take that opportunity to go, okay, I'm going to bet on myself. That
Cody Rhodes,
and everybody kind of gave Cody shit for doing that. I don't.
Look where he's at now.
Yeah, you got to be in a position. You put yourself in a position to do things that you want to do. And so Cody went to Japan. He did his due diligence. He came back. He helped establish AEW. You can't turn your back on the guy just because he decided I want to play for the Yankees and I want to win a World Series, which is what he's doing. Mm-hmm. His dad never won that belt. His brother never won that belt. So if he gets a chance to walk out with the WWE title, dude, that's more of a shine on Dusty's legacy than anything.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did you get on Cody Rhodes?
We were talking about Sasha leaving and establishing
betting on herself.
And betting on herself. And I think that's exactly what Cody's doing too. So, I mean, barring injury, I think she's going to go over there. I mean, Sasha, she has never been shy about her ability or her confidence in herself. More power to her, man.
And I was going to say,
there's willing to give you what if you got to know your self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just have to. And there are plenty of people in WWE that are there making a check right now, could care less.
Yep.
And she's saying, I don't care about the money. I don't care about the merch. I don't care about the Mattel deal. I don't care about the video game. I'm a wrestler. Yeah. And I feel like I'm one of the best still, and I'm going to go prove it.
I got excited when I saw her training and she's doing lucha style because that's something other than what we've seen from her. And she was good.
And one of the people that she trained with was actually, I think his name is Skade, or it's like Skayd. And my buddy John Bullard, who runs Chicago Land Championship Wrestling, had him in for like, I believe, a 3-day seminar, teaching people and stuff and that. So I mean, that's really, it's just amazing how all this is unfolding, and we as fans, especially looking forward to Wrestle Kingdom here in a couple weeks. I'm not going to stay up to watch it live because I need to get sleep because I'll have work in the morning and stuff. Okay. Well, you get to work from home, so.
Shout out to John Bullard also.
Yeah, shout out to John.
Definitely. He's a good
his
guy.
new All-Star Lucha. Have you seen his new?
Yep. Dude, he's doing the commentary for Puerto Rico. Being a Puerto Rican dude, that makes me pretty cool and happy, man. He's a good guy. Honestly, he seems like a really, really nice person. Regrettably, I wasn't able to meet him the first time I was going to due to bullshit. But one day, man, one day we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got the All-Star Lucha Libre Wrestling.
And that, so
nice. Gentlemen,
there you go.
It's time.
There you go.
Got their request to join the group today.
It is not time for the main event, but it is last call, meaning it's time for your final thoughts. So who wants to go first?
You want to go rock, paper, scissors?
Scissor me. Dennis Day, are you frozen?
It's up to you, DJ. What do you want to do?
Are we good? Are we good?
Are you? Yeah, I can hear you, buddy.
Okay. So a couple things. I want to talk about what was originally going to be my final thought for last week, but then the shit went down, which, you know,
so you're gonna go first.
He's going first,
yes,
yeah.
Okay.
So my apologies. It's just we lost our signal. I lost this, or
I'm
someone
just
lost.
kidding. Go.
Stop kidding around with me. Quit playing games with my heart.
All right.
Playing games. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
We're still recording. We're still recording, right?
Yeah, we're still recording. We're good. Bastard. But I want to talk about what was going to be my final thought for last week, and that was going to the Mick Foley show a couple weeks ago in West Chicago. If you guys ever get a chance to if Mick Foley comes to your town and does one of his shows, like comedy shows, go do yourself a favor, plunk down the money to go see it, because it is hella funny. He tells some really good stories, and Mick's a really good stand-up comedian, and stuff.
He's a funny guy.
And he's a nice guy. Take advantage of the meet and greet afterwards if you can, because he is very down to earth. He will sit and chat with you.
And he'll sign anything you throw in front of him.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I met him here in town, and I got multiple autographs.
Yeah. So. Our buddy Ty, I was went with him, and he had this 3-pack of wrestling figures. It's like the 3 faces of Foley, and he plugged it down, and Foley signed all 3. He signed his Cactus Jack, Dude Love, and Mankind, and like Ty didn't even have to ask and stuff. And that was really. And the best part about this show, all the money he made from the ticket sales, the meet and greet sales. He was selling combos. It was you get an 8x10 autograph and then an autographed Mr. Sacco, like for $20, which is a really good deal. All the money he made went to help, went to the GoFundMe or the help with Joe Doring, who's dealing with brain cancer. So that was really huge there. And it just goes to speak volumes about the stand-up guy Foley is and that. But again, go see the show if you can. Now the venue.
Oh no.
Completely different story. So first off, I paid a little extra money to, for VIP seating, which basically meant I was guaranteed a place where I could sit. Standing for long periods of time, it's hard for me to do with my leg and stuff. And that, nice area where we were sitting and stuff. But the general admission which is basically you stood, they got to crowd the stage. Basically, they had a little bit more of an up-close experience with the whole thing and stuff, and kind of obscured, the view from where I was sitting. Ty had said it's a little bit different from a previous show he went to there when Medusa was there and stuff, but that is what it is. Now my big gripe is the staff, because on I believe it was 4 separate occasions I went to the bar to order food. Now, you may ask, why did I go 4 times? For each time I went, I was told the kitchen's too backed up. They're not taking any orders. I'm like, all right, how long before I can come back and place an order? Because I really hadn't eaten much all day. I was hungry. I wanted something to eat. The girl at the bar was like, come to get back in about 10, 15 minutes. Okay, no problem. First time. I go back. Still not taking orders. Okay, how long? 10, 15 minutes. It went on and on and on. So basically, to the staff of that place, if you're going to have someone like Mick Foley come in who's going to draw a crowd, they had to have known how many people were going to be at this thing. Staff your kitchen accordingly. Don't have one person back there for like 300 people wanting, especially if a lot of them want food, because it was just not fun and that. So, but that's enough about that.
Hashtag first world problems.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Excuse me.
What will they think about the children?
Well, somebody, please think about the children.
The children.
And that's so. But now, kind of onto my final thought for this week, and it was just being at SmackDown Live.
You just double up. Hold on. Hold the phone.
I told you I had two final thoughts.
Okay, Sean had a confused look too.
So I said it, and that might have been when we had the technical difficulties.
Well, technical difficulties is your middle name.
Thought it was Day.
No, my middle name is William. Actually, thank you very much. God damn it! Now I lost my train of thought. Just go with your final thought.
Come on,
you were on SmackDown.
Get it back together.
I just want to say, as always, WWE events, great seeing them live. But God damn it, man, those 200 level seats, the Allstate Arena needs to make the seats bigger for us, us bigger folk, because let's just say it was a challenge trying to sit in those seats. In fact, it was so bad I ended up standing for most of the show. So, all right, I'm done.
That was your final thought? Bigger seats until the Allstate Arena?
Pretty much sums it up.
I know.
I am going to.
What were you hoping for?
I will add to your comments with Mick Foley's show. I got to see it here at a bar called the Looney Bin, which isn't a very nice. It's not what you would call a well lit, clean facility. It's basically a biker bar, and the guy who owned it was just a wrestling fan and used to be an indie pro wrestler. So, but a lot of the guys, like I seen Jake there, and I've seen a couple other wrestlers come there. And the night that Mick was there was right in the midst of what was going on with COVID, or maybe a year. They had scheduled the show, and then COVID happened, so it was a year later. And he had came into town. It was completely sold out, but there were still only like 25 people in the entire bar, and I was one of them. And he does. Mick does a great show. It's very personable. I got to talk to him afterwards, and just everything they say about Mick Foley is 100% accurate. That might be hands down the smartest, most talented, sincerest, sweetest man in professional wrestling. That night he auctioned off the shirt that he was wearing on his back to donate.
He did that at the show I was at too.
I think somebody bought it for like almost $300.
Shit, that's cheap. The person that won the auction at the show I was at, I think, dropped $700.
Well, I mean, this was a smaller venue, like I said.
True.
As a matter of fact, he even made the remark during the show that he wasn't sure that he would ever come back there, which kind of sucks. Because I love Mick, and I would go see his show numerous times. And the greatest part about that show was the end when he opens it up for questions, and you literally just get to start throwing stuff at him. Mm-hmm. I got to speak to him about his run as Cactus Jack Manson when he was in World Class.
He talked about that at the show.
He talked about that at nauseum. I mean, we talked 25 minutes. He went talking about WCCW, and everybody knows that's where my heart has always been. So, I agree with you. If you get a chance to see Mick, damn it, jump on that, man.
Please do.
So what's your final thoughts, Sean?
Okay, we'll make it quick. So we're getting close, and I'm pushing Jovan.
Yeah, man, you need to get your rest too.
So,
he needs to get his rest in. He needs to go get his vitamins, get his vegetables in.
Brother, that's not a problem that I have. Don't let the white beard fool you. Okay? Older the bull, the stiffer the horn. Don't even try.
I'm just saying that out there just in case somebody else is in your
way. I will shut you down in
Sean,
a quick second. That's just not a joke we're going to deal with.
Hey, Sean, I'm just trying to get that out there just in case your significant other is in the room, that I'm pushing for this to end so you can get your rest. So that way she can't pin it on me.
I'll worry about
I don't want to be the.
I tell you what, man, I'll make you a deal. I'll worry about me getting rest. You worry about hitting the record button when you're supposed to.
Deal.
Deal? All right.
Deal.
All right. So, final thoughts. I actually wanted to bring up John Bullard and give John a shout out for his All-Star Lucha wrestling promotion that he's starting. I think that's really great that he's going to be involved in that. Mm-hmm. I met John once, and still to this day, every once in a while, he'll hit me up on Messenger just to see how I'm doing.
Yeah.
John is just one of those people in the wrestling business that you're better off for knowing. Kind of like you two chuckleheads. I'm much better off knowing you two. So,
he called us chuckleheads.
Just I was real. This week was different for me as far as, like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch as much as I usually do. My big problem with everything that's going on in the business right now is there's still such a huge separation between male and female performers, whether it be pay, treatment, how they're looked at, and how they're perceived and asked to be perceived on TV. These women have earned the right to work the way they work, whether it's the Impact Women's Division, which I think we can all agree, hands down, is probably the best women's division on the planet right now. And anybody who doesn't agree don't know their ass from a manhole cover.
Or they don't watch Impact.
Because you don't know what you're talking about. If you don't watch Impact, then you don't know what you're talking about. Because what those girls are doing and the stories they're telling in Impact, it's crushing anything in the two big shows. Period, hands down. When we look at these girls and we watch them perform and we watch them wrestle, we all have our favorites and the ones that we like to see work. And then we have the ones that we know that there's talent there. And we talk about, even if we're as far as like Jade, Cargill and what she's doing. I still feel like she's a long way from home, as far as where she needs to be or where she's at. But the reason why she is where she's at is because of her appearance and her fit body and the gear that she wears. She falls into that demographic that every producer that's ever produced pro wrestling wants to hit, and that's the 18 to 35. If we're going to sexualize these women every time, okay, let me rephrase. If we're going to sexualize these legitimate athletes every time they go on TV and then punish them for making money the same way that you are using them to, we got a problem. We got a problem. There is a distinct double standard. We want women, apparently we want them to look like whores, but we don't want them to act like anything other than pristine, innocent little girls who have never done anything wrong. That's just not the world that we live in, and it's just not the right thing to do. These girls put in just as much work, just as much effort, and basically work harder than any male performer ever because they have to be noticed. If they want to be seen other than a pretty face, they have to put in the time. And that's why we have the era of Becky Lynch and Bayley and Charlotte and Jordan Grace and Mickie James and Masha Slamovich. And I can keep going. Britt Baker, Saraya, Jamie Hayter, all these people who, a lot of them were very, some of them, especially the ones from overseas that have come to the States or worked in New Japan and come to the States. What immediately do they do when they bring them to New Japan wrestlers over to the States? They put them in the smallest outfits they can put in, anything that makes them look cute. Or say, look at what's her name? Io Sky. Look at the gear she wore on NXT, which was long tights down to the ankle. And look what she's wearing now.
Yeah.
Midriff shown, bikini tops, that kind of stuff. We can't have it both ways. This is bullshit. Either treat them like athletes and pay them what they're worth, or let them go somewhere where they're going to be treated that way. If I say anything about AEW, I will say this. Tony Khan lets these girls come in and lets them work the way they want to work.
Yeah.
When you look at a female performer and go, we want you to be more like this, and then fire this, there is a distinct problem with that. And I have a problem with that. I have a daughter who's an athlete, very gifted athlete. And
she's really good.
And she is beautiful.
Yes, she is.
And
she's got a great personality too.
And she's smart. She gets straight A's. She's very intelligent. She's very polite. She's very respectful. She's everything that you would ever want with a kid. And I don't know how we got lucky to have the kid that we have. but she's going to face these things in life because she's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that scares the shit out of me because she should have all the opportunities that we have and have had as men in society. And she's always going to be looked at as a pretty face and not the athlete that she is.
I told you multiple times about what I think of your daughter and stuff, and you know how highly I think of her.
So I mean, and especially, and like I say, I'm married to a very strong, very intelligent, very beautiful, independent woman.
Yeah, she's a hell of a cook too.
I've been with dumb and pretty. I'll take smart, successful, and beautiful over dumb and pretty anytime. Mm-hmm. So let's quit treating these women like objects and start treating them what they are, which is an asset to every company that they're in, and let them work and quit treating them the way we're treating them.
I like that.
That's beautiful.
Speaking of beautiful, what's your final thought, Jovan?
Oh, I appreciate that. That was beautiful. Let's see. What is my final thought this week?
It ain't bigger seats, but
it ain't bigger seats. Yeah, no, you couldn't beat that glorious final thought.
You know what's funny is I actually agree with him. Every time we go to a show where we got to sit in the bleachers, I'm always so glad when we get a seat because at least my ass fits somewhere.
Oh yeah, I agree with that too.
We're not tiny guys, man. Everybody, I don't know if anybody realizes because you just see us from here down or from here up. My bad. You don't want to see us from here down. But every single one of us are big guys. We're all
big dudes.
You know, we're all big dudes. We're all over. We're all 6 foot. We're all over 200.
We're not feeling that. We're not feeling those 200 level seats. For sure.
Man. This ain't
200 level.
Yeah. This don't look good like this.
And it's definitely don't look good with me, Dennis, and everybody over.
That's what it was like last night at SmackDown. That's why I ended up standing for the.
We went to GCW, brother. We moved the whole row so we can.
We unclipped the chairs and started moving rows so we can have some good space.
Actually, we didn't do it. Ty did it.
We were moving furniture, baby.
Ty was trying to do it for all of us. I think the only ones that could fit in the seats fine were Ty and Patrick.
Well, that's because they're both
the small guys. Yeah,
they're
soaking wet.
Pounds, yeah.
Well, Ty's the smallest out of the group because Patrick's tall. I think the tallest out of all of us.
Yep. Ty's got something there, though. I don't know if you want to fuck with Ty. Ty has like this unknown, like if it wouldn't surprise me to find out Ty was like John Wick in another life.
Great series of movies, by the way.
Sure.
It is. All right. Final thoughts, man. I think what burned me up so much about Action Andretti winning in AEW against Jericho was the fact that everybody thought he was a local jobber and he wasn't. Not local to the Dallas area, not local to the Texas scene. Hell of a moment, hell of a story, like you said. It's even nicer when you get into the backstory and how it was played out. But I think my gripe is going to be with the indie scene in Dallas. Maybe the indie scene needs to get a little bit more built up because I know Chicago up there, you guys have a great thriving indie scene. Down here, our indie scene has kind of gone to shits. There are a couple of promotions that are trying to do their thing. There's like 2 big ones that will try to bring in some good time stars. There was one that was really starting to take off that kind of collapsed. JTG used to come here a lot. Jay the God, former Crime Time Tag Team champion. Former tag team. They never were champions. But he used to be down here a lot. He was with their heavyweight champion for a while. But they folded. So I think it's just more consistency with the local product here for me, man. I think Dallas hasn't had a consistent wrestling base since WCCW days. And it's sad to say because there was once upon a time where wrestlers wanted to come through Dallas. Dallas was the spot.
It was the Mecca.
It's not the Mecca of wrestling that it used to be. So I don't know, man. Maybe one day if I hit the lottery, I'll find me a patch of land in Dallas that's easy to get to, build a barn, put some, bleachers. Yeah, some bleachers, couple rings in it, and for God's sake, some fucking air conditioning because every indie promotion could really use some damn air.
Yes.
But who knows? One day, man. That's the lifelong dream, is to build somewhere where they could come to Dallas to make this the mecca of indie wrestling once again.
Yeah.
But that's my final thoughts, guys. Also, we'll end that with watch your wrestling, whatever it is. There's a lot of shit out there. We've touched on every kind of promotions in the last few weeks. GCW, TNA, Impact, MLW. Oh God, we need to do a show on Jacob Fatu and the Bloodline.
We were there the night he won the title.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were in the arena in Cicero Stadium when he won the title. Yeah, goddamn.
That is a monster. Awesome. That dude's a fucking beast.
We were there when his fucking debut too. The night they debuted. And so, yeah, man, MLW, and you got Mansour was in there. That's where MJF came from.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Get in there, guys. There's a lot of wrestling. Just take it in.
Before, we end this. He touched on MLW. Shout out to Richard Holiday. I don't know if it was discovered, but it was recently, or if you guys knew about it. I think Sean knows.
I did.
I believe he was just recently diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah.
So it's just
so his career's done. He's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not something you can perform with.
T's and P's, thoughts and prayers.
Just hopefully, because it's a shame, because dude was really good,
really talented, and was on the verge of a sign. He was going to get a dark match.
Damn.
On AEW, and it wasn't long after they had talked to him about bringing him in and having him do a couple dark matches and taking a look at him that he got the diagnosis. So yeah, he was right on the verge, man, of
breaking out.
To be reunited with MJF, because they were part of a faction in MLW. I can't remember the name.
Dynasty, I think, wasn't it?
The Dynasty with Hammerstone.
Yep.
Yeah. And Hammerstone's the man now in MLW.
Oh, Jews. That's Hulk Hogan, what Hogan wanted to be. It's Alexander Hammerstone. Yeah.
All right, Jovan, let's take it home.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us here on episode number 65 of Shooting Shit. We'll call this one First Amendment Rights. Take 2. Oh, I like Take 2. We'll call it Take 2, episode Take 2.
Yeah.
God, we had a lot of fun tonight. I want to thank DDJ for being with us. Sean Thomas, as always, the Silver
And
Wolf.
remember to hit the record button this time.
Remember to hit the record button. Please don't forget to hit the ending button. When I finish saying thank you to the ladies out in the county, the jobbers out there in the catering area, and to all of you shooters for being here with us, have a great day.
Do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow the show on Twitter at SHOOTINSHT, and thanks for listening.